Tenuity, and this is our property management tracking app. And just to kind of go through the UI, a quick notice, you'll notice with our first sign-in page, you're gonna have two different toggles: the LL signifying landlord, and TE signifying tenant. So whenever you select one of these, you'll be greeted with different functionality behind the forgot password and create account. So if you were to click on create account for landlord, for example, you'd be creating a landlord account, whereas tenant or TE, you'd be creating a tenant account. For the sake of the demo, we'll go through with one of the accounts or two of the accounts that are already connected. Um, but it's pretty basic, giving your email, password, phone number. So we'll go through with our landlord account. And then just to give you insight too, to see like some error checking, if we had selected tenant TE, we'll get an error message here saying invalid account type. And so instead we'll select the LL option. So we're all signed in. And you'll notice we greeted first with our properties on the top portion of the page, followed by maintenance requests. The maintenance requests are to be filled by tenants and then completed by landlords. So you'll see later when I go into the tenant section how that whole workflow works basically. But here, as a landlord, you're greeted with an opportunity to add your property, see properties here. You can check your profile settings, this page over here, view documents, messages, things like that. We went behind the ideology of trying to keep everything as quick to get to as possible. So that was kind of like leveraged by this hamburger menu to the left, where you can easily get to financial dashboard, messaging, documents. So we'll start with looking at our profile here. So you're able to change your profile image through, if you click on the little icon here, by choosing a photo in your gallery, taking a current photo, and then this is just the name of yourself. So this demo account is Tenuity Landlord. Here's some other basic functionality: change your email, change password. Some key insights here. You're gonna have a payment preferences, and so this is where you as a landlord are gonna register your Stripe account. So if I go through here, start my onboarding, it's gonna display the Stripe API, and so we're gonna go through with test demo basically. Um, Going through, and this is just a uh, demo how a landlord would go and set up a Stripe account and how they would see their accounts. So I'll just go through with it, uh, register, make sure everything's good. So if we were to put like Tenuity demo, great. And so this is where you would select the type of account that you're going to work with. So if we just do, again, this is just testing. So this is like if you were to check your, like a Chase account, Bank of America account, things like that. And this is what that would look like here. Cool. Just do not now. Cool. So we're all connected, and so now whatever preferences you set here are going to be through the app what you would want to basically show up when rent gets paid, right? So going to sign back in. Cool. And then another insight over here that was pretty interesting was the export data option. And so allows you to export your user info and your own information via a JSON file and save it to your current files on your phone. And that'd be great with working with future APIs, or if you just want to keep that data for yourself, that's great to offload and then bring onto maybe like a some kind of like CSV file type handler, whether that be like Excel or Google Sheets, things like that. And signing in again. Another interesting thing here is we could look at our documents, so we can add documents to the property as well. Here we have a lease agreement, and I'll add a document currently from our phone just to kind of give an idea of how that looks. So if I were to add documents, it'll take me to my files in my phone. This is just some test lease agreement. It's going to upload. Now this will be viewable from our side and our tenant side as well. So this is great for being able to share documents across yourself and your tenant and making sure everyone's on the same page. You're also able to view it by clicking on it, view document. It'll take you to another page and display the file here. Now this takes you to the web browser, as you see. So we have to get out of there. We'll close this. We'll close the Expo, our app, and run it again. Great. Okay, now we're getting back to the dashboard. So we could take a look at our property. Just some key insights. We have our address, bed, bath count, our current tenant, which is our Tenuity tenant account, which we'll take a look at shortly. And then a description of the property as well as the rent amount. And we can change the rent here, and this will affect how the tenant pays. One interesting thing too to note is that we make it really easy for the landlord to constantly have access to talk to the tenant. So like from the dashboard, they have two different options. They could click on this message icon while they're looking at the property, another message icon. So that'll take you to your chat with your tenant. And this is just some previous chats from the demo. But if we go through like just some other text, and we can also see that we can send pictures back and forth too. When we log into the tenant account, we'll be able to see this message and respond. And again, that message or that page is the same across all of these. Um, so let me see. Let's go back. Cool. Final thing here, we'll look at the financial dashboard. And we have a couple different filters that we take a look at. So we look at this month. So this is more of a temporal filter up here. And these are the key insights that we saw from landlords that they're most interested in. So income, expenses, taxes, and then obviously this month, last month, year to date. So expenses this month, income, and then also it's interesting to note too that the expenses will increase as maintenance requests are coming in and fulfilled. Then here is an idea of that works. So we go to year-to-date income, expenses, things like that. So you get like a good breakdown of what's going on with your property. And then we'll sign out, and then finally we'll go to the tenant account. So switching over to tenant. Okay, great. So we're greeted with a little banner saying hello Tenuity. That's the name of the account. And then in similar fashion, here we have our test lease JPEG file, which we uploaded, and we could see, as I mentioned, that's viewable from landlord and tenant. Our chat, how we just sent from the landlord side, is present here. We also have a shorter profile configuration, so you still change your email, password, and your profile image. And then your biggest thing, the two biggest things to keep track of here are going to be your maintenance, which is also done here, and your rental payment. So we'll do rent payment first. This is dynamic, so it tells you when your next payment is due and for how much, and to pay with Stripe. So this is the same thing. You click on it, and it launches another window showing your the Stripe API, similar to the last time in a browser window. So we're going to back up here and go to maintenance requests. So if we go through maintenance, add maintenance, and we could just do something like demo maintenance. There we go. We could also attach an image, which we'll pull up. It should be stock files. Yeah, so we'll just add something generic. Cool. So that was submitted. As you can see here, it also populates on this to keep track of what's going on with your property. And if I go back out to the landlord, here we have the maintenance request. So status is pending, cost not specified. We can add a cost to show, for example, we'll just say $123. It was saved, mark it as done, status is now completed. We jump out of here, and if we go to our financial dashboard, our expenses increased to $123 because of that maintenance request. So the main idea behind this project was trying to keep it as simple as possible for the landlord and tenant to be able to communicate, pay rent, and submit maintenance requests back and forth, as well as this the document sharing. So really trying to keep everything that a property manager would need all in one, while keeping it very simple. So thank you for your time, and that is the end of the demo.